Hi guys, we're just going to show this little video of how we get to this traditional bronze with a light colour under it. And so I hope you guys enjoy the video and see how the process comes forward, and hope you guys learn from it as much as we're learning all the time. Thanks guys. So this is the process now, and we've got the bear onto the base, which is a base we put down for patina because it's steel, stop the chemicals affecting it. And now we're slowly heating the piece here, getting a nice heat all over, because obviously, like I've said to you before, in bronze, some of the thick and thinners, you have to be careful of that. So we're giving it a nice heat to get it a good base heat all over the sculpture. Allows us then to start getting the idea of the patina chemical, which is liver sulfate, ferric nitrate, worked at different stages, thick or thin. So once we've got it nice and warm here, and we'll keep turning it, keep it going to get a nice warm. As soon as I know I'm at that temperature, and I've been doing it for sort of, I suppose, 30 years nearly now, you get to know. You see me just touching it now, just starting to feel where I am. I've pre-mixed most of my chemicals, so we've got them. And this is the most basic one of the patinas, the classic, which is that sort of chocolate highlight patina, which works really well with classical pieces like this. Here we go now, start to put on the patina. We're dressing on the liver sulfate first. I like to get a good base coat on the liver sulfate, because if you put the ferric on too quickly first, it tends to react very sharply, whereas liver just gives you that sort of nice browning colour. Again, this all depends on the heat. Obviously, if you heat it too hard, it's going to go very dark and you tend to lose control of it, a bit like watercolouring. So as you can see now, as we're turning it, the colours will start getting stronger and stronger. And the randomness of patina is much like painting, where you put the darks, the lights. It's personal to the artisan that's finishing the piece, or in this case, we finish the pieces. So me and Rox and Ben know exactly where we want to put these colours, because we've done one before. The first one, as you guys know, went out to America. This is the second one now we're doing. And you can see now it's starting to get darker and darker, and you can see the red starting to evolve. And I'll start soon putting on the ferric, which mixing the ferric with the liver then gives you that real deep rich colour, and the ferric brings the reds through. And again, you know, if it's too hot, you'll lose that, and you'll lose the darkness. And a lot of Animalia pieces that were done very early on were very, very dark. The likes of Bugatti, they loved very dark black patinas, which is classic, which a lot of you guys know we do now with the big portrait pieces. We're going more of a gunmetal. But you can see this really coming through now. We're just highlighting it over the ferric with a little highlight, just like a Scotch Brite, not too rough one though. And you can see it bringing the highlights through. And now we're starting to get the wax on, which the wax is a sort of Renaissance wax. We use a coloured dark wax, and that will bring the ferric and the liver out, so you can start to sort of distinguish between the ferric and the liver to get that lovely rich colour. So this goes on, we heat it on, keep the heat into the piece. As you can see, we're reheating again as it starts to go cold, and we keep that, and that really gets it in and stops any verdigris in, where if you've sealed it with a wax, it'll keep it for a lifetime. It's nice to refresh it, but so we've got to get that heat in, make sure that wax melts into all the surface detail. And here we are, slowly polishing it up for the end result on a base. We've put it on, or we've chose to put it on. So I just like to give them a light dust down. You don't want to rub it all off. It's the first wax is very important. So we get a light brush in, and then we just lightly buff it to keep that colour there. I mean, you could really take it off. A patina is a surface to the metal. You can't just use paints because the wood come off, whereas a patina is a serious part of the metal, especially on the bronze. But you can see now as we're turning it, just lightly going round, give it a real little buff, and the brush is really soft, but it gives a great lustre to the colour of the bronze. As you can see, a lot of ferric at the bottom there coming through. Liver across, if you look closely on the shoulders, you'll see the darker, which is the liver sulfate. So guys, that's the piece. You can see the darks and lights around the ears. with the liver and the ferric. It gives that lovely richness. And it is a choice between the patina. So guys, it's a traditional patina, so I hope you've enjoyed the video.